Hey guys, Loman02, doing cube draft number 6 for me. Hoping to kind of draft something cool again this time. So, findings so far about the cube, being blue is good. What colors have I not played yet? I guess I've played every single color possible. Alright. I don't think Upheaval has the crushing power it does in Powered Cube. Exhume is a build-around for Reanimator and is interesting. I think, actually, in this pack, because the pack is really not that great, there's a case for Restoration Angel, but I think the strongest case is probably for Watery Grave, because it's pretty solid mana fixing. It's fetchable, unlike the Shambling Vener, Wandering Fumarole, which are both threats, and tapped lands, which is a little bit worse. Chandra's Phoenix is not a good red deck wins card. I mean, it's fine. It's a fine red deck wins card, but it's not a card that you just take and automatically cements you into that archetype. Well, the best cards in this, the most the most presented cards in this pack that are strongest are probably green. So if you want to take Eternal Witness, I probably wouldn't fault someone because they can probably wheel either the Avenger or the Sylvan Advocate, probably the Advocate, but then you're looking at more of a green mid-range deck. I think I'm going to take Watery Grave here, though. I think that is probably the most powerful pick. I think this pick is actually fairly easy. Well, two cards stand out to me. Flooded Strand, which gets my land, but Fact or Fiction is a very splashable blue card that can go into a wide variety of decks and is exceedingly powerful. So, I really like Fact or Fiction. I think most people do. Interesting. So, blue is not being heavily drafted right now. Could be Dark Slick Shores. That's good blue fixing. Could just be a Dissipate, but I think Dissipate's kind of a less upside counterspell. I don't think Dissipate's enough of a sign. Neither are the other two blue cards in this. I think I'm just going to take the Dark Slick Shores here. Search for Azcanta is a bit more of a sign, though. Vraska's Contempt's also an interesting new card. I actually have not played this card. I've never cast a Vraska's Contempt. I mean, I've seen it cast in video and whatnot. But I think I like Search for Azcanta here. So, what are we looking to go into? Probably something that utilizes the graveyard, whether it be Reanimator or, a Snapcaster style, deck. The only thing with Search for Azcanta, and I've only played it in one format, that's Highlander. These decks are smaller, so eventually you could put yourself into a position where you've cast all your good stuff. Well, there's Necromancy. Liliana Vess is certainly not the pickup. Necromancy is interesting with Search for Azcanta, and I think I'm going to pick it up here. So is Hypnotic Spectre, but, I'd rather have the single-colored spell. Pestermite's good, but not in blue-black. Negate is also a great card, but, yeah, I think Necromancy is just a more proactive approach, and plus it can get anyone's stuff out of the graveyard. So if I end up in a more controlling shell, which I think is what I'm going for here, then I think it's going to be better. Una's Prowler is probably the best Reanimator card, but I think Profane Command, this is to lose life, choose two. Or kill something, or return a creature to your battlefield. I don't know. I mean, Profane Command is kind of slow, but I'm going to pick it up because I think I'm more of a control shell. Okay, well, I think here, I like Forbid. I actually like Ooze and Maelstrom Pulse a lot, too, if I could go into Bug, but that's not a given yet, so I'm going to pick up the Forbid here. Again, 3-mana counters are not phenomenal, but you take what you can get, and this is Vintage Cube. Blue is obviously open this cube, which is cool, because as I was talking about, I think blue is probably... I don't know. I mean, in my experience so far, I've done the best with a blue-black deck. I 3-0'd with it. And every other deck I played has either been monochromatic or not blue whatsoever, like Jund, White Weenie, Red Deck Wins, and Black Aggro. This deck could go in a lot of directions, though, but I think right now what I'm most strongly looking at is probably some sort of grindy Reanimator or control shell, combo control shell. Okay, Bone Shredder kind of fits that bill. What do I think of Black Cleave Cliffs to go into Grixis? I think I actually like that more than taking a Bone Shredder here. So I'm going to pick up the mana fixing. Then we have an Exhume or a Dreadbore. I think I like Exhume here. So Exhume wheeled. So I think Reanimator is probably going to be open in this. Now, if the 3-mana counter also wheeled, that'd be pretty cool. We don't have to play the Black Cleave Cliffs, but if I get something like Kolaghan's Command, it's not a bad thing to splash. Black Cleave Cliffs is obviously not the best fixing because it's not fetchable, nor do I even have fetches yet. but I think I actually... the man lands are not bad in this format, but I think I actually probably like the speed lands a little better, because I think, especially in a control deck like this, you know, well, the man lands are cool because they can eventually give you a means of winning, you know, through wrath effects, because I'm hoping to kind of get some of those. Here, it's probably not Teferi. It's probably, sadly enough, Nighthawk. Yeah, I'm going to pick up Nighthawk here. So, someone else is in blue. We're probably going to not see as many blue cards this next pack because I think they are behind us. But the third pack, we should be able to pick them up early. And hopefully this next pack we can just get some other good reanimation effects or some good targets. Because right now we have 2 decent reanimation effects. We have 3 ways to discard. Basically all of our cards except for our reanimation effects discard right now. Whether it be Forbid. Okay, Dissipate came around. I think Dissipate's possibly better than the 1-3. I don't know, though. I'm going to pick up Dissipate. It's fine. I think Loam is in this cube. I guess you could get Loam with it, but Loam's not very good in the cube, just unless you have like a bazillion fetch lands. Here, Lightning Greaves is the most interesting card for Reanimator Shell. Ooh, Negate. So interestingly enough, I actually think I like Negate better than I like Hypnotic Spectre, because I think we're going to be more of a control deck. Kaiga is a threat. It is not, you know, it's not worth consideration for a Reanimator build. Here, Ancient Tomb is very powerful. It's possibly the pick. I think we're going to be taking a beating, though. I think I'd rather have that card in a proactive deck. I think in actuality, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so far spells. I think, other than Part the Water, I think I like Thing in the Ice a little bit better. It's kind of a good tempo-y card. It just keeps you alive. It's a good wall in the early to mid-game. And then when it flips, you know, it can get, you know, 7 incremental damage in probably before it gets removed or killed in some horrible way. Yeah, so far I don't mind the deck. Not looking like we're going to play red. Red is getting scooped up by someone, so I think there is a red deck wins deck being built somewhere here. Yeah, I think I'm in for Consecrated Sphinx in this build. One of the premier, like, control threats. Terminate's also good, and that would be, you know, not like a huge reason to splash red, but it'd be a reason. I definitely like it better than Kaiga. Here. Drown Catacomb, probably. I don't think we can have too good a mana. I don't mind the Ophiomancer. It's actually a fine control card. But I think either it or the removal spell wheel. I think here I like Ultimate Price. Yeah, I like it better than Mana War. Mana War is a cool ETB, so I mean, if you're to get like Recurring Nightmare, it's not horrible. Well, we haven't seen a lot of Reanimator cards this pack. Maybe we'll eventually run into some. Delver deck? Probably not. Maze of Ith is actually very good. So is Bitter Blossom, though. I think I'm going Blossom here. I think it's a Blossom. Sower? I don't really care for Tameo. Phyrexian Arena is also very powerful. What else do I have to draw cards with? Search, Fact, and Consecrated Sphinx. Or it's just Sheldred and just go big. I mean, Sheldred is a pretty premium. I mean, I'd like to get Gristlebrand. Gristlebrand and Consecrated Sphinx would be enough for me. Maybe it is Sower? I don't know. You know, I'm going to take Sower here, because Sheldred, like, I don't have a huge density of creatures. That could be wrong. I do like Consecrated Sphinx better than Sheldred. Sheldred's kind of like all-in Reanimator, and, like, I don't really feel like I'm doing that. I feel like I'm more of an attritional deck, and, like, Sower, well, it's not great, because it just generally dies to, like, everything. Is decent enough. Noxious Gearhulk is worth a nod. Legacy's Allure is also a powerful effect. It's more of a powerful sideboard effect, but it is powerful nonetheless. Huh. Yeah, I don't think Noxious Gearhulk's where I want to be for reanimation effects. I mean, it is a powerful ETB. I think I'll pick up the Allure here. I don't know if I'm going to start it. Whoa. Okay, so Collective Brutality or Inquisition. I actually think in this deck I want Collective Brutality. I am going to hope for more targets now because I've accrued a pretty decent number of ways to discard. Everyone agreed with me, so the card I was like, the other blue card I was looking at is still in here. You know, I can't say I really think this card is great. I guess it is the pickup, though. I guess I could take the Vampire Hexmage and then have, you know, an additional way to deal with Planeswalkers. I don't really have one right now, other than just like going over the top of them with like big-ass creatures. We certainly want to pick up a little more counter magic, but I mean, we have some decent disruptions. So we have 3 counter spells, some 2 ways to steal creatures, some decent removal. What does this thing do again? I may take Terminate. Terminate's a powerful removal spell. I don't think it's Whirler. You know, it may be Volra's Stronghold here. It is a good grindy card. Yeah, I'll put it in my deck. I know I have some significant double requirements on blue and like a couple on black, one on black. But I think, you know, if like my Consecrated Sphinx or whatever I reanimate dies, it's not horrible. I will pick this thing up. It's a good control card. It's a good control card or like a good combo card with like Recurring Nightmare. Something that like wants to sacrifice creatures on the reg. I guess it wouldn't be bad with like Porphyry Nodes or like Drop of Honey, but you'd always be sacking your own 1/1, I think. So, I don't really care for Vampire Nighthawk in all of but like the most aggressive matchups. I do think Ophiomancer is good enough to start because like a Death Touch 1/1 is pretty solid on every turn. This is every turn, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah. It's pretty solid for keeping folks from attacking you. I would play Desecration Demon. I don't think the card is phenomenal, but, you know, it does flesh out our curve a bit. It does end the game fast. It doesn't really follow our general strategy that we're on right now. So this next pack, as we're getting through this pack, we're going to start looking for, I mean, what card do I not want to see? I mean, I guess this is the most all-in Reanimator effect. Wolfear Silverheart's just a behemoth. I'm going to pick this up. It's a cool card. Oh, well, that's kind of probably nice. I'm not going to play this. That's possibly nice. I mean, it is an additional, like, just behemoth that I can reanimate. So I'm not going to say no to it, I don't think. Liliana the Last Hope is interesting. Jace Beleren is interesting. There's a few interesting things in this pack. Mirror Battlesphere is also just a big thing. I think, and actually, Liliana Death's Majesty also discards for us, but I think I can wheel that more often than I can wheel Liliana the Last Hope, which I'm going to take here because she's good against weenie decks, she's good against control decks, just generally a good card. It's an easy pack rat, I want to say. Yeah, I mean, Wormcoil Engine's also kind of interesting, so is Force of Will. I mean, is there a chance of pack rat coming back? There probably is. I have 2 behemoths already, I have a decent bit of discard. I actually kind of want Force of Will, I think, in this deck. Control Magic, very powerful. I think we take the Control Magic here, actually. Doomblade could wheel. Careful Considerations would also not be horrible in this deck. Hostage Taker or Impulse. Ooh. I hate to say it. I think Impulse is more likely to be good in this deck. I'm going to put the Legacy's Allure in the sideboard because I have a real Control Magic at this point, and I think I'm going to be at playables for this deck because I think blue is relatively open. I mean, it's open in one direction. We're not going to wheel many blue cards, but I think there's a higher chance of wheeling the Hostage Taker than there is... Scarab God's pretty cool. I wonder if Scarab God is good enough for this format. I am a huge fan of Wretched Confluence as well. I have how many counters? 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. The Scarab God is just another way to win, right? And it does their stuff too. I'll pick it up. I think the card is very powerful. I mean, I wouldn't have minded having that additional 3-mana counterspell. You can talk crap all you want on 3-mana counterspells, but once you get into a long, like, you know, blue permission fight, like, having more of them is just generally better. They're dead sometimes, too. You know what this deck really wants, though, is I would like to take its Desecration Demon out and put, like, a Damnation in there. Kitesail Freebooter is interesting. I actually like Stroke to no small extent, but I think it has a higher probability of wheeling than Dismember, which is our first, basically, 1-mana spell. Dismiss is actually pretty cool. Like, I am a pretty big fan of this card. I think I'm going to cut the Demon at this point. I know it's probably heresy to some to cut win cons, but this is really a control deck. I don't think it wants to be, tapping out with this much counter magic on turn 4 for a 6/6 flying that'll probably just get killed. It could want to do that, but I already have Liliana the Last Hope, which can play the long game. I have, Sheldred, which is the long game. Consecrated Sphinx is the long game. Scarab God, it kind of is too. So I have a few ways of dealing with inevitability. Ooh, Entomb. Yeah, I think I'm going to pick Entomb up here. I mean, it's a very powerful effect, and so basically 2 1-drops. Very powerful effect. We do have Exhume and Necromancy to reanimate things, plus we have the Scarab God to reanimate things, and we have Sheldred to do this. So if I get the Liliana Death's Majesty back, which I think there's a pretty low probability, because folks love their Planeswalkers, even though she is a double black card, and yeah. I would love to have one more reanimation effect, I think, in this deck, and it would probably replace Bitter Blossom. Okie doke. Well, I do like drawing cards. I don't think I want a Mere Battlesphere in this deck. Pack Rat. Cool. Or Duress. No, Pack Rat's just better, I think. So we're at 30. We have to cut some cards, obviously, at this point. Rabchoop or draw cards. I already have a bunch of 4s. I'll take the consideration, I think. This is an instant. Yeah. Ooh, Makeshift Mannequin. That is a way to reanimate. It's possible we could splash 1 white from Burial Rites. I'm going to pick that up. We'll have to look at it a little more. Tanglewire, never getting played. Neither of those cards are. And Geralf's Messenger, probably not getting played either. So, we have some cutting to do. I actually don't think I care for Profane Command. I know it is a reanimation effect, but you're paying essentially 2 more... Or the creature's casting cost plus 2 more mana to do it, which doesn't seem good to me. So, we could run Makeshift Mannequin. I think, honestly, I'm going to cut the Makeshift Mannequin to the sideboard. I am going to run Entomb. I think Entomb is good enough because I really don't want to draw Sheldred. Like, Sheldred is the only card I don't want to draw. I don't mind drawing Consecrated Sphinx because this deck can cast it. I do still think I like Ophiomancer just to buy time. I think I'm going to make this more of a control shell. So let's add basics for now. Seems close. So this deck ostensibly, I think, wants 16 to 17 lands. Probably 17 because it does have some draw in it. So what do we cut? So how much removal do we have? We have 1. I don't think I want this. Like, I think I'm going to cut this thing to put us up to 15. I do think I want Dismember. I still like Negate, I think. Bitter Blossom may kill us. It's very good in some matchups, but maybe we board it. Yeah, maybe we board it. But then, how else am I winning? So, outcard them with Consecrated Sphinx. Outcard them with Sheldred. Sheldred does like a higher creature count deck. I guess we do have Pack Rat and Ophiomancer down at the bottom part of the curve, plus TT. We could even sideboard TT out, actually. This is 17 lander right here. I think I do like this a little bit better. Volrath Stronghold is... meh. I think it's fine in the deck. I do have 3 pieces of actual... 3 pieces of fixing for the double-colored spells. Yeah, I think this is a deck. I think this actually would be fun to play, too. Like, I don't... It's really a judgment call. It just depends on matchups, if I want to play Bitter Blossom, or if I want to play... if I want to go more combo. So, like, if I'm expecting a lot of aggro, then I probably want TT in my deck, and possibly, like, Legacy's Allure for, like, early interaction. Maybe even Profane Command to kill something, and, whatever. If I'm playing against Control, I probably want, like, stuff like, Careful Consideration for, like, draw/filtration on their end step. Bitter Blossom, because, like, you resolve this against Blue-White Control, you're probably going to win the game unless they have a combo. Alright, my deck is saved. I think I'm going to stick with this, though. I think this is it. Yeah, let's try this out. Kaiga could be good, too. Entomb may be wrong, but the card is just so singularly powerful. Like, even if I have to set it up early and then, like, eventually do it, I don't think I will be upset with that. And give me a second, guys. It's, like, weird to me, but, like, when I don't have sounds on Moto, it screws me up. Alright. I would like to play first, yes. So I'm going to keep this. I probably am going to entomb turn 1 just to keep the habitual threat up. Well, I'm going to do it probably in their end step. I may. I'm going to leave the option open, though. I probably will lead with this Dark Slick Shores. If they have Wasteland, oh well. Like I have a pretty well-landed hand, and I'll hit another island before I think it's relevant. All right, Forest. Okay, Deathrite Shaman is quite good against what we're up to, and I can't kill it with Ultimate Price, so I think I just draw for the turn. Yep, go. Deathrite Shaman's an odd one to run main deck in Cube. I think it's actually bad. Well, you can see, maybe they have a ton of fetch lands in their deck. Okay, Gaia's Cradle. Llanowar Elves. Interesting. Okay. Well, now I'm wishing I had a Massacre Worm. I'm going to kill that thing. Make an attack for 1. TSG is interesting. Yeah, I really do want like a Languish in this deck or like a Damnation. I didn't get that though, unfortunately. So they've got a ton of mana. Their mana is near infinite. If I ever draw a reanimation effect, I feel like I probably can't lose. I mean, as it is, I'm going to be able to Sower of Temptation their next threat. Okay. I think I actually am going to steal their Llanowar Elves here, of all things. Just to cut them down on mana. I could leave up Dissipate as well, but I'm just going to be taking a beating and doing nothing for my turn. And I think it's more important to take their mana here. Cut them down on mana. So this is down to 4 mana, which is better than a bazillion. Okay, well. Continuing to make land drops. At some point I am going to need to leave up this Dissipate because they're just going to cast a bomb. My bomb density is probably lower than theirs. Yeah, it looks like they're casting a 5, which is not good for us. Oh, Hermit Druid, that's not good. And their mana is near infinite now? Well, not good. I think actually what I'm going to do here is look for... Probably this. Oh. Alright, well, I'm taking a gamble here. I'm going to see what they do. If they have, like, if they are on a big mana dead end draw, I think this is an okay line. If they're flooded, then I'm okay. But if they have, like, a Terastodon, we'll probably just lose here. They have basically infinite mana. That Wasteland I saw is looking a lot better now. Carnage Tyrant doesn't really worry me. That's fine. I have creatures that can outshine that, I think. And it does not regenerate, so the question becomes, how do I want to block here? Oh, I'm going to take 3 easily off this. I'll keep the Llanowar Elves around. Alright, TSG. Now, the issue becomes the Deathrite Shaman can actually exile the Scarab God. I would like to get back the Deranged Hermit. Alright, did they draw something good? It looks like they drew a bomb. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, okay. So that allows me If I had Massacre Worm, I could win the game almost on the spot, I think. Yeah, pretty close. I don't like their line here of just exiling that. I mean, I guess they have to, but I guess they don't know I have Entomb. And that has Hexproof. So wait. No, that doesn't work. I need to draw a land to get a 4/4 off that. I'm going to take 7 off this unless I double block it. Oh, I guess double block it is. They're all dying regardless. Tramp over for 1. Alright, am I just dead here? Very close. Basically, we're in a position where we don't want them to draw land, and we do not want them to draw other stuff. So, it's not a good position to be in. Okay, they drew land. I wonder if... Okay, so they have black mana now. We're going to probably die to the Deathrite. Try to snipe off this Carnage Tyrant. If I draw a land, then I can get the Sower of Temptation and snag up the Rampaging Baloth. I think I'm still dead just dead anyways. Okay. Yep. Well, we possibly could have stabilized this with TSG, but the opponent's horizontal growth was pretty massive here. So, in order to stay alive, is it possible? Not really. But we'll see what they do. Yep, can't attack. Couldn't take the tapped creature. I need the blocker, or at least force them to do the combat math. Been a rough spot here. Yep, Wasteland. So you can blow up what? The Volra Stronghold? Maybe one of the two pieces of fixing. Okay, yeah, Volra Stronghold makes sense. It's like the only useful land I have. Now you can definitely attack here and win. We'll see if they do or not. Yeah, you just attack all, I think, yeah. And then you can shaman the rest of the damage in. No, actually not quite. No, that is enough. Alright, so shaman wins. Because even TSG on that's going to put me to 2, which shaman's still lethal, so they can go ahead and lethal me here with their Deathrite Shaman. Yep. Alrighty, so sideboard time. Ramp. What do I think on ramp? I actually do like Thing in the Ice. It's possible we want more removal. Legacy's Allure seems pretty good. This is an early turn play. Ophiomancer I still like. TSG is awful slow. What don't I like? Maybe... Entomb early is just so powerful. What are some other things I really don't like, though? Actually, maybe Thing in the Ice isn't necessary. So we're 1 heavy right now. Huh. Negate did not seem overly impressive there. I think the card is very powerful, and I will main deck a Negate, just like I probably would main deck a Duress as well. Well, this hand is interesting. It does not cast its spells, though, so I need to mulligan it. Alright, this hand's more keepable. It's better. I think I will top that. It's not very proactive, but a guy's got to hope, right? So turn 1, Mana Dork, more than likely. Seems likely out of their deck. Their hands can't be very good if they don't have turn 1 Mana Dorks, I don't think. Tapped? Yes, thank you. A break. We know they have Wasteland, so we're not going to expose our Stronghold here to destruction plus the tempo loss. I guess it's pretty equal tempo at that point. So they have what? Like a Fauna Shaman? Maybe they have a 2-mana Mana Dork. Well. Okay, that's actually fine by me. That means they're going to go up on mana, but I am going to be able to have this dissipate up. And I'm still going to play the islands. And then next turn, it's looking like we're going to be able to get a Factor Fiction. So if we're real lucky, the way the hands will line up, they'll have a Wasteland, and they'll try to Wasteland us in a response. We can Factor Fiction, and that kind of drops them on tempo. Of note, also, they don't have a Gaia's Cradle draw. Gaia's Cradle was just pretty bonkers last game. It kind of allowed them to get way ahead real fast, and that's what it does. 2 games. They didn't sack their Tribe Elder. I guess they're going to try to beat us to death with a 1-1. I think they would have been better served by just finding a swamp, the Singleton Swamp it appeared they had, because it looks like they're mostly a green ramp deck. But I counter this thing. Yeah, I'm going to, because I actually want them to play their bigger creature cards. I actually don't mind this. This is fine. They can get exiled. Like, I want their bomb to be something I get with Sower. And knowing which bombs they have now is nice. Alright, that's not a great draw, but we are going to be able to Factor Fiction and hopefully get something relevant with it. Some black mana especially, because we could TSG next turn. Obviously, I'm not going to try to Sower their Sack Elder. Although that would be pretty humorous. I'm sure it's probably been tried in Cube. The only way I think you get them is if you get them on F6 or something. Alright, so they're not going to wasteland us this turn, which is unfortunate. It means they're probably going to go for a 4-drop Den Protector. Yeah, fine, dude. That is 100% okay with me. A Goyf. Okay. I'm going to go for this right here. Fact or Fiction. Probably going to keep the more landed pile. They may be shaking their head at me because I'm growing the graveyard in response to their Goyf, but actually I want Goyf to get nice and large. I may just play out TSG this next turn in hopes that I can... I will most likely take the land pile, the land heavy pile. I don't really want Forbid. I don't think I want Forbid at this point. They're going to give me lands or nothing. I'll take lands, actually, I think. Or lands or spells. I think the proper split's probably 1 land Forbid. Legacy's Allure, 2 lands. Yeah. I think that's the right split. Or they're going to give me just Legacy's Allure plus, like, all the spells? Yeah, all the spells, dude. I'm all about that. Go ahead. Got a 2-3, my man. Get in for 1 if you like. Bang in there. Ooh. The one cool thing about this deck is it does have a lot of control magic effects. I'm just going to play my threat out because I actually want them to play their threat out as well. This thing blanks all of his attackers, so... No one really wants to attack into TSG. And eventually we're going to have the Sheldred down, which is a big lady. Okay, Anissa. Probably don't want to attack in with your lands here. Oh, we're going to untap. Okay. Okay, Surrak. I mean, if you want to attack, I'll just recast my Scarab God. That's fine by me, man. You're down to 1 card. Okie doke. Not going to be able to do that. Control magic this thing. Smack in for a bunch of damage. And probably play just a Sheldred next turn. You can find a land with Secure Tribelder and probably toss the Den Protector in front of it. So we either have Sower next turn to get whatever his bomb is that he plays, or possibly steal his blocker. Okay. Okay, so nonsense. Okay, are you going to attack me? Yeah, you are. Alright. I'm going to leave up for bid here. Steal this thing. And crush Nissa out of existence. Attacking into the Sower is kind of crappy here because I can just get it back with TSG at very low cost. Actually, yeah, we'll do it this way. I will definitely take a dismiss. So what do they have in hand? Probably land. I think we attack all out here. If they want to jump, they can, but they're taking a bunch of damage here. I don't really care if I get hit down to 5. Green is not likely to have burn. And they're dead on the backswing. I don't have to show them Sheldred yet. So, right now, all I really know about is the TSG, as far as my good threats, and the Sower, which we kind of showed them both games, which is kind of cool. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, man, there's... I probably played a little longer than I had to last game as well. Alright. I do still wish I had a Wrath here. Like, that's the one thing this deck is missing is, like, a single Wrath. Like, a Damnation would make this deck so much better. Like, probably pull into like a tier 1 style deck. Well, maybe tier 1.5. I think blue-red twin is probably like the best deck in Cube, but the cards rarely come together perfectly because someone's always, trying to snipe red deck wins, and blue-red's already a popular archetype because everyone wants to be able to combo out with Kiki Jiki or Splinter Twin on a Might or something like that. We did see the Might. Didn't see the X-Arc. Saw Restoration Angel, so I guess like a Jeskai version of the deck may have been open. I think this deck is pretty good, though. Like, it's at least sweet. Has that going for it. I really honestly don't know if Entomb is right or not. Like, with him playing Deathrite Shaman main, it probably is. Although Deathrite Shaman loses so much utility when you just don't have fetch lands. I mean, he probably has a couple, but I haven't seen any out of him yet. Yeah, this hand's a keeper. We're on the play or draw, though. So we're probably going to get the Legacy's Allure down first. Hopefully he doesn't have a turn 1 mana dork. We don't have black mana of note, but we can cast all the spells in our hand. Vorest Stronghold will be the last land to go down. Yeah, this hand's fine. It's a keeper. I mean, it's not great, and it may not be... Not the best. I mean, like, the best would be, like, 1 black mana source and, like, replace, like 3 lands, 1 black mana source on the Vorest Stronghold. Alright, tapped. Cool, my turn. Well, we're going to be able to counter a lot of spells here. I'm wondering if we put down Search first. Depends on what he does here. Okay. Alright, we got to F6 it here. Just can't do anything other than steal like a Birds of Paradise or something. But, okay, Jadelight Ranger, 2 cards revealed, so they got a land and a ravaging or a rampaging Baloths. Wasteland was one of them. Okay. I'm going to leave up the Forbid here. We're going to take a beating right now, which we probably would not have to take if we were on the play, but that's what it is. This hand was certainly better on the play than the draw. Alright, so what do you do, man? Just hit me for 5? I am going to steal their Sylvan Advocate before they can get it out of range. So eventually they're going to have to play into me because of this Legacy's Allure line. I'm going to steal it on their turn of note. I should reread this card, though, just to make sure. Power less than. Okay. I'm going to do this on their upkeep, so if they have a removal spell for their card, then they have to tap the mana on their turn. Just going to steal this thing. I'm not a greedy man. And actually, the cool thing is if we're able to dismiss now, we can actually play out the search for his content next turn and leave up Forbid, which is pretty good, I think. Card parity, mana parity, relative board parity at this point. We took 7 early, but not feeling too bad. Like once I can get kind of seize control of the game and they haven't established overwhelming dominance of the board, I feel pretty good here. Because then I can kind of go into some extra draws. I think Search is going to let us kind of get after that as well. Okay, Wasteland, cool. That card does not worry me. Denny P? Okay. I don't know why you wouldn't turn that upside down. It's this out of his hand. I'm going to get that, because I don't think he's going to cast another relevant spell. Force of Will is interesting. Okay. Kind of going all in here. I'm going to play out Search for his Kanta. I'll probably try to steal one of their things next turn. Not going to buy that back. Yeah, I'm going to put Pack Rat in the yard. Kind of want to wait for another blue card to cast out this Sower, or get their bomb card. They could try to keep me off of Search for his Kanta by damaging me with the Deathrite Shaman. 2 could play it that game, though, and I may steal it. Utopia Sprawl is 100% fine, my friend. Yeah, I definitely don't think I'm in a position where I can tap out for Sower right now. I suppose you attack. Control Magic would be a great draw right now. Yes. And here's the hope. They're going to slam this thing and we're going to steal it. Because they're boxed into a position now where they're going to want to actually start getting rid of cards in my graveyard. Because I'm going to be able to kind of pull ahead if I can get a Search for his Kanta flipped here, I think. And hopefully they didn't draw another bomb. Hopefully it's just this thing. If it is, they're going to get a 4/4 out of it, but I've already got the snake, the old snack. We shall see, though. Yeah, hopefully it's just land rampaging Baloths. Yep. Okay. Okie doke. Land? Okay, no land. I'm going to take 2 here. I think I can afford to. No, I actually like Jace here, I think. Okay, not a great draw, but it's off the top. And, being fair, it is another 4/4, right? Okay, Explorer, not a great draw, but I mean, it could draw him into something good. A lot of mana. Alright, drain me for 2. Okay. Well, they're certainly dead next turn. And I'm on a bazillion. Well, I'm on a bazillion cards to them at a minimum. I have 2 in hand, and my board presence is expanded quite nicely. And I have searched for his Kanta to find anything that I may need. One of them is a land, so that's not phenomenal for them. I'm going to have to try to find a way to counter something. I think at a minimum I'm going to look. Okay. I'm just going to fog this right now. I know it does nothing, but I don't want an additional blocker on their side, so I'll exile this thing at the end step. I don't need reanimation right now. Okay. Yep. Yeah, okay. Concession. Okay. Yeah, actually, in retrospect, the Necromancy play did not make sense because they're going to get it anyways. It didn't really matter. It's going to trigger regardless. It sacks. I thought it exiled for some reason. There's some of them that exile, which I think one of them... What is it called? The 4-mana one that's bad. And then there's a couple others, like... I'm thinking the instant speed ones. Shallow Grave, Goryo's Vengeance... and there's one more I can't remember. Corpse Dance. I don't think they're in this, but... Yeah, my draws are fine, but actually, like, looking at the match, like, you know, more circumspectly, if they don't have the Gaia's Cradle early and have, like, the fast mana nutty draw, then I think even without the Wrath or Damnation, we're able to pull ahead of a green deck pretty easily. This hand's not good, but... I mean, turn 3 counter, this is good enough for some matchups. I'm going to keep it. I don't think it's great. I'm going to lead on Island here, obviously. Well, a basic, obviously, because I don't need to expose myself to Wasteland. I guess if like they have some horrific combo, I can Force of Will turn 1, but this is Legacy Cube, so let's be real. A discard? That's going to suck. Alright, Thoughtseize. Well, I'm assuming they probably just get my Dissipate. They can look at my hand and see how bad it is. It's embarrassingly bad. But... what can you do? Maybe we'll draw a Search for Azcanta off the top ropes. We do have mana to cast all of our spells. I mean, except for our 6 and 7 drop. My assumption is they probably... Oh, really? Okay, interesting. Well, that was a strong draw. We can cast that next turn, actually. So, I'm just going to play out the Swamp here and say go. Because, again, I don't want to expose myself to discard, or to Wasteland effects. If they're on like an aggro deck and they play on a threat here, like a 2-1, that'd be awesome. What do they do here? Nothing? Well, question is, do I go for it or not? And I think the answer is I try to go for it. They could have Negate, or they could have Remand, or Mana Leak, or Censor. Okay, but if it sticks, then this feels very good. They're going to get a chance to resolve something as well. However, if this is a control mirror, then I feel pretty well set up in this position. They're up on cards. Okay, if they're passing it back, I feel very strong at this point. So I'm just going to play an Island, plus this thing, and say go. Could have... like Hero's Downfall in their deck. Alright, they're out of mana. Alright, well I think Liliana's going to win me the game then. Yeah, sure. Could have Bounce too. But they're not making mana drops, so they can support it with counter magic. Okay, Hornet Queen. Well, Exhume's pretty bad. And my Liliana is going to ult, so good luck with all that nonsense. So we're on kind of a mirror match, except for they have like Hornet Queen as a reanimation target, I suppose. Alright, this is going to get countered for sure, bro. The best draw in my deck? No, that's not going to get countered. Never mind. It's going to get killed, though. Oh, they got me on a reveal hand. Fucker. Moto. Well-timed, opponent. Well-timed. Oh, actually, Bitter Blossom seems good in this matchup. I like Exhume a lot less. Entomb is kind of hinky. What else don't I like? Does this only do my graveyard? Yeah. Desecration Demon is probably better than like... Well, Necromancy is good. Alright, well, we ran out of time there. Or we already submitted and they resubmitted. Probably frustrated that we drew well. We did draw well there. That Liliana was a good draw. This hand is worth keeping. Probably lead on basic island. And hopefully we can get under counter magic here. Alright, man lands. And go. Good pickup there too. Okay, Smuggler's Copter. Interesting. Well, that thing could just beat us down if they have a creature card. In my deck, at a minimum, I like my card better. They may be an more all-in Reanimator deck, which I'm kind of hoping that I can get to a Dismember or something like that relatively soon, so I can deal with this Smuggler's Copter at some point. But if the turn gets passed and they do relatively little, then I think we're going to be in a good spot because we are going to have Forbid at that point plus Impulse. So if they do nothing yet again on the following turn, then we could, Impulse, or if they do something, we could Forbid it. I don't like the idea of them getting a cheap creature down. Like, what would be the most disastrous? Like, probably like a 3-mana card, like Shadow Mage Infiltrator would be the most disastrous here. Okay, Thoughtseize to probably hit Forbid. I don't know, though. It could be Impulse. Impulse, a powerful card, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm going to put that in my graveyard. If they do activate this thing, then I'll probably... Okay. Huh. Huh. I actually like Dissipate here. Pack Rat was interesting to me. I think what I want to do is just buy time and flip this thing. Yes. Negate seems great in this matchup. Take a break from islands for a second. I mean, I suppose they could get to mana eventually and just try to flip this Creeping Tar Pit, but eventually I'll get there. This deck they're playing is very weird. Hornet Queen plus, these nonsenses does not seem good. I'm wondering how they won their first matchup. No. That's staying in hand. It could have possibly been right to get the Pack Rat there. I probably wouldn't have played it until I could activate it because I assume they're probably on either a lot of counter magic removal or just their deck's not good because the cards I'm seeing that they've strung together here are not good. Like Thoughtseize independently is a great card. Who? Huh. No, I'm going to keep that actually. I'm going to keep spells that do things. Sculpt my hands slowly with Search. Because once I start spending these cards, then I can at least flip Search and start finding bombs. Yeah, okay. I kind of want them to tap their resources on the next turn, so I'm going to say okay to this, I think. Okay, Hornet Queen again. I have many, many counter spells here, so I don't think this is going to work, but it could. That is probably the worst draw in their deck, though, so I can understand doing that. No. I actually could have minus there to flip the Search, but I think I'm just going to tick this thing up, force my opponent to commit resources against it. And I was going to say, if they ever hit their other black mana, they could activate their man land and attack it. Yeah. And I'm glad I did that. Obviously, Ultimate Price is not great versus their Creeping Tar Pit or their Smuggler's Copter because this is not a colored creature. But I do have, like, a lot of counter spells, and they still cannot activate their Creeping Tar Pit. Okay. This waiting game is only going to favor me with a Search for Iskanta and active Planeswalker. That's why I think they need to do something. Yep. Don't want to cast this. I think the answer probably is yes. No, the answer is definitely no. And the reason being is because at that point then I'm forced to pitch one of my blue cards to counter a spell with Force of Will. Whereas at this point I can either hardcast Force of Will, this Gifts Ungiven. Yeah, you know, I will actually negate this. Now, do you have a counter spell as well? No, you don't. I'm just trying to go for it. Blue card, come on, deck. No, I do not. Yes, I do. Well, as far as blue cards go, that was a good one. So, the only issue with this blue card is that it does not allow us to... Actually, it does allow us to search. Yeah, we can search for Iskanta to find another blue card to Force of Will plus cast this. So I think we've got this game locked up because we're going to Liliana alt next turn. We can kill this thing if that's what they decide to do. Wait for them to commit to an attack with it first. If they're going to activate the Creeping Tar Pit here, yep. They could activate their Smuggler's Copter as well. But if they go for that, then... Okay. You're not going to get a loot here. Alright, Emblem Mud up. I think I am going to try to get the TSG back this turn to get their Hornet Queen. And I'm going to get to scry like all of my deck every turn, which is pretty cool synergy with the zombie tokens that I have yet to see. I don't know if it was ever a thing in Standard or not. Very difficult to race zombie tokens, though. Whip of Erebos. And now I'm going to get a lot of zombies, because I believe these are all zombies. That's a zombie. Yeah. Alright, well, I'll have a Damnation, I guess, because not much else is beating this. Damnation? Treachery. That's pretty good. But what are they going to get with it? Nothing? Still dead. Yep, you can untap. Like, I don't think this fundamentally changes anything in this game. We'll see, though. Okay, clone. Cool. Let's see how low they're willing to go on life total. Okay. Okay. Actually, do I really care about this? Escalate with 2 modes. Actually, so counter it, won't it? Yeah, I think it may counter it, actually. Could have done that prior to combat. Alright, 4 more zombies. Yep. I can still cast this Force of Will if need be. If their play is just to attack and hit me, cool. But deal with the pressure. Could activate Manland and equip Sword and hit for, you know, not an inconsequential amount of damage, but still not that relevant. They're going to turn them all sideways. Okay. Well, this is not happening. And go. Attack me if you like. You can get my ultimate price, but backswing is lethal. Yep. The spite hits. Cool. Get the untap. Did you draw something relevant? I know you have a Gristlebrand and a bunch of counter magic, so have it or don't. Yep, that's what I thought. Cool. So 2 pretty cool games. It's funny because, like, I guess I've drafted this deck sort of before. I think the last version was better than this version is because it did have Damnation or Languish. I think it actually had Languish and Damnation. It did not have TSG. I think it had, like, Consecrated Sphinx, Silumgar, which actually I like better than, you know, the 7-drop dork I've got. What's her name? Sheldred. But the deck seems pretty cool so far. So, is this 2 2-0s? No, 2-0, 2-1. Okay, so match 1 was a 2-1, that's right. Alright, well, are we going to be able to pull it off? Probably going to be playing against either a hyper aggro deck or blue-red control. Would be my guess. I think they're the best decks. So, let's see what happens here. Well, opponent is evidently not joining the game. So, quick pause, guys, until we're back in the game. Oh, nope, it's going. Hand's good. Can't complain. So, got turn 2 Pack Rat if we want that. And we may. I think we do lead on an island. Hopefully not a mountain, because, well, I guess we can sideboard to beat mountains. Don't think this deck is well set up to beat mountains, though. Our hand is not horrible. It's about as good as it's going to get against mountains, though, so we do have, like, a Theomancer and Pack Rat to kind of, like, present our own threats. Nothing. Okay, they're going to try to turn 2 reanimate, so... Go ahead, man. Unless they also have discard, that would be unfortunate. There's no way they kept a 0 land hand. If they did, like, I would be utterly shocked. I'm not going to dump Rat on the board and be like, oh, let's just win with this thing. All right, discard turn 1. If they discard me, I am going to just negate here. They're just trying to go for it. No thanks, man. Necromancy? No. Turn 2 reanimation effect as well. Yeah, it looks like it. No, just this thing. I wonder if they'll jam into 4 open blue mana. They may. I'm going to get to Fact or Fiction here, though, which feels pretty good. Oh, Recurring Nightmare? No, Land of War Elves. Interesting. I think I'm going to take the bigger pile here. Could they be like a Living Death deck? It's possible. I'm going to have a Sphinx next turn, though. Yeah, go. I think at end step I'm probably going to dismember their crap. Even Mind Sensor in the cube? You know what? That's fine. I could have actually discarded Exhume there, though. Because I don't have a... Actually, TSG would be good against Prime Time. That would actually not be a bad draw here. Not quite yet. I want more mana, but... Okay. Blow up land. Probably the Dark Slick Shores. Okay. Good pickup, good pickup. Yeah, no, I'm good. So they're probably not a Living Death deck, because a Living Death deck probably attacks there. think I'm going to hold off on this Consecrated Sphinx. Value Abzan. Well, anything you play is going to get countered here, my man. Yeah, that thing for sure going to get countered. So the question is, do I discard here? And I think the Exhume is suitably bad that I probably do. And there's got to be a turn I go for it, right? I think this is it. I'm going to try to go for it here. I think at a minimum I should get 2 cards off this. Yep, nope, not attacking. Alright, they didn't have instant speed removal, which is good. Or they failed to use it in their upkeep. Which is also good for us, yep. You have another Planeswalker threat. Something big. Alright, Avenger of Zendikar. That's extremely annoying. They have a land drop as well? Yeah, they do. Okay, well, we're going to have to kill that thing, but it just gives them a bunch of 1/2s. So, not horrendous. And then we have counter magic for days. And then next turn we can use Jace to get after some cards. And, well, I guess we don't even need more cards, do we? Yep. Sheldred, which is goofy. You know what? That's probably fine. Just an additional thing to run into me. And because I have Sphinx, obviously Forbid is quite the good combo. You can start attacking here, but I don't know how much good that's going to do them. 0 cards. Sheldred. Got flyers? No. Force of Will kind of allows us to do this. They're going to start sacking these 1/2s. Okay. And it has Swamp Walk, so that's not bad either. Force of Will was a stellar draw because it allowed us to have a tap-out turn here. Entomb's definitely getting pitched for big, so I have nothing left to Entomb for. I have another big Planeswalker card. Alright, so Jace Beleren will get pitched here. That's what my thinking is. So they're like a Abzan Bombs deck that has like some weird reanimation stuff going on. I don't really like Avenger in a reanimation style deck. Craterhoof Behemoth. That was a hell of a draw. But no thanks. Hell of a draw, really. They should concede here. Just concede, opponent. There's probably no way to win this. Your chances of winning are about 0. Like, oh, Pack Rat comes back. Cool. Forgot about him. Yeah, you know what I think I do is just attack with Sphinx here, and then next turn I'll attack with my Swamp Walker. I'm not in a rush. Play the land out, why not? I'm going to draw 2 more cards here. You draw a normal for a turn? Maybe their deck is just all bombs. I mean, I guess Una's Prowler and like the Mender of the Meek were not very good, and they were kind of sitting on those clunkers for a little while. Alright, are you attacking me? Alright, well, you're just dead then. I'm not going to show you more of my deck. I'm just going to kill you outright. Okay. Let's begin sideboarding, guys. I'm going to take a quick break and use the restroom. Alright, guys, back. So, what do we think in this matchup? Profane Command is interesting. Not great, though. Desecration Demon is a fast clock in the air. What do I think of Legacy's Allure over Entomb? I'm not really feeling Entomb. Like, Exhume feels bad because they're doing kind of the same thing, so we can at least take that out. I think Entomb can come out for... maybe Profane Command is it. And actually, it can allow us to attack for lethal, but we don't have a lot of attackers, do we? Bitter Blossom's also somewhat interesting. Huh. Yeah, Maybe no, they have like acidic slimes and stuff like that. I'm gonna try the Desecration Demon. It's at least big and clocks fast, so if they're trying to do like weird stuff, we can maybe get them with it. They're trying to like kind of, dirtle around. It's not a bad card in that sort of situation. TSG seems pretty decent in the mirror if you can like get there. I really need to get to 3 to start countering stuff. So I only have the Negate in the 2 spot, and then I have Dissipate, Forbid, Dismiss, Force of Will. I don't have a ton of counter magic. Sphinx, as always, is just overperformed in this cube. Like, I have felt very good every time I've had it in play. Even though I think was that the first time I've had it in play? I think so. I mean, the Entomb Exhume power is like really high, but I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of hinky. Although, I don't know, man. Like, it's really powerful if you get it going. Let's just leave it in. Oh, no, we're starting. Never mind. They're at 41 cards, so they boarded something. This hand's not good. Has all the mana it could ever need. I think this is probably a mull. I'm actually going to keep this. Reason being, I feel like they don't have a lot of ramp, but we're going to see differently right now, huh? But Negate, I feel like, I don't know. We can see we can see a different side of their deck here. They're going to attack. All right, cool. Attack again. Alright, go aggro. Well, I like seeing turn 1 Llanowar Elves, or Fyndhorn Elves rather, make no mana. Same card, though. Creature spell. Rofalos, okay. Kill spell. Nope. Deck is not going to provide us. Hopefully what they end up playing out is not Primeval Titan. They know I have 3 mana counters, so they may just attack here. Okay, they're going to try to Chord of Calling. Chord of Calling is fine by me. Alright, Chord for what? For a 6-drop. For a 5-drop? I'm going to tag it. If they have Big Garrick next turn, we're in a lot of trouble because I can't really deal with that, and I may just have to concede it. But, we'll see. Alright, we'll take a little bit of damage here. Yeah, no one counters Lingering Souls. They're going to recast it? I think I would leave it there, to be honest. But they could just want to clock me. Okie doke. Well, we kind of got what we deserve with this hand, so if we lose the match, I think we probably should have mulliganed this, but I kept a more speculative one, and we could get punished for it. So we're going to hit for a significant amount of damage here. If they just have, like... I think they'd have to be kind of... I think they have Craterhoof in hand, is why they're making this line. And if they just go for it, they're going to win the game here. Not that I think that would probably be the right play in the face of this much blue mana, but it kind of feels like, yeah, no, you're not going to go for it, or you're going to go for it? Yeah, they're going to go for it. Craterhoof. Risky play, but it's going to get there. I don't have it. Let's try drawing. See what it hit. Sower, decent. Alright, so we still do not have any cool ways. So maybe they're not. I'm going to try to go back to this. I feel like if we can get this online, it's really good. This is kind of slow. Ophiomancer's not horrible against them, but it's also not like phenomenal either. They're going to try to kill all at once. Thing in the Ice is not bad against their tokens. Let's give this a shot. I'm going to try to go back to the Entomb plan. I want to try to Entomb. Like, I'm about to play this time, so I'm going to have a little more time. And I'll put 2 effects that can do it in there, because if you get this draw, like, it's just a beating of a draw. Again. It's a mull. Alright, we're going to keep this. This is actually pretty good. Legacy's Lure is fine. And actually, I'll probably play it turn 2 over the Impulse. Rofelos again? Hopefully not. Feels like it is, though. Or it could be Sylvan Caryatid. Okay, Sylvan Library is very strong. Well, this hand will see a lot of cards. My assumption is they take a bunch of damage off this. Okay, take a little bit at least. And shuffle their library. There's a fetch land. I think the first one we've seen in this cube match, or this cube game of cubes. Rofelos, yeah, that's getting taken, dude. Like, you're not going to get to keep that. This will get taken. Unless you're like running like bad cards like the Blossoming Defense or something like that. Alright, so we cut them down on mana a bit here. They can kill this thing if they like. What I'm hoping to do is Factor Fiction here, find the Necromancy, and then just go to town. It's not even per se 100% what I actually entomb here. If they play a creature, I'd probably prefer to do Sheldred. Alright, they're taking damages. Cool. Okay. And they're going to pass it. So they're trying to draw through Shaft, then, is what they're doing with their library here. I will tap out for this. Factor Fiction, end step, I win. Is the old nomenclature, or what do they call it? EOTFOF, I win. I forget what the 40-letter acronym is for it, but this is a strong play, obviously. Okay, so we have many ways to get back a creature card here. Probably take the Necromancy pile. Well, actually, you know, I don't know. It's interesting. Actually, probably the Exhume here. That's how they're going to split them, huh? Well, I'm probably going to Necromancy here. The issue we run into here, or is it an issue? If I Necromancy, actually, you know what I can do? I can Exhume, and then if they Entomb in response, because we know they have the card, then we can Necromancy whatever they get off of Exhume. Or if whatever they get's like nonsense, I can just find the, Okay, they're going to give me a land as well. Alright, choose pile 1. Choose the bigger pile. I'm not going to run into their Entomb. They have like an Abrupt Decay for this. Or a Hero's Downfall. Hero's Downfall feels like what it is. Get in there for 2. They certainly have plenty of cards, so no shortage of those. Yep, Hero's Downfall. Cool. They could have a reanimation effect for my Sphinx. That would be actually horrendous for us, huh? Yeah, if they do, that would be pretty rough. But we only saw what out of them? Exhume? We saw Reanimate. Should be an awful lot of damage to take on a low life total. Well, did you find your Reanimate? That would take them down to 3. Okay. Well, can't think of what for 5 mana would reanimate this. Maybe like, what is it, Puppeteer Click? Okay, Cord for 2. What are they getting for 2? Scavenging Ooze plus a land drop? They already played their land, right? No, Sylvan Caryatid. Doesn't make mana yet this turn, though. I think I do want to get Volra's Stronghold down just to protect. So they don't have Entomb available to them. So I'm going to get this Consecrated Sphinx. I'm going to play Volra's Stronghold to protect myself from their reanimation effects. So they have a blocker at a minimum. Alright, I'm going to exhume this thing and just leave up Volra's Stronghold. You could drain them here, but I think I'd prefer to have the blue card in hand for Force of Will. Okay, so now they probably don't want to use their Sylvan Library. If they haven't found what they need yet, then Sylvan Library is not going to do them any favors because it'll just give me so many cards. And then my lack of Wrath effects. Alright, well, now I have a counterspell. Yeah, okay, they decide not to, it's probably best not to use it as well. So I drew into the counterspell I kind of wanted here. I mean, despite them having 6 cards, like I can kind of parse what I want to do with it. So it's possible that it was a misplay to try to go for the Necromancy there. Without having backup of Volrest Stronghold to protect against their reanimation effects, which they have shown us to be a thing. Are you tapping out for something? I hope you are. So you haven't played a land yet, so that means 2 mana could still be available. Go for the Throat could possibly be a thing. Natural Order? Yeah, no, that's not happening either. No, thank you. That should be a concession. That's a pretty big beating. Okay, well, nope, they don't want to give up yet. Alright, well, what else do we have? So I can do 6 plus 2 off Collective Brutality. I can't quite kill this next turn. So I'll play this land out because I'm not going to play spells here. I don't think I need to. They need to do something on their end, and it's possible. Actually, I don't have any. I guess the only counter spell I could draw here would be Force of Will that is castable along with the Dissipate. But let's just let's see what they can do here. They can look with their card, their Sensei's Divining Top, which I'm not a fan of, but they do have 1 fetch land plus Chord plus Natural Order. Yeah, actually, Sensei's Divining Top could be decent in this deck. Like I see in their graveyard right now, and I'm trying to remember if I've seen any other shuffle effects. It's not per se great when you already have like a Sylvan Library in play, but hey, what are you going to do? Okay, well, Sower should also be a beating. I need to come up with an answer to both Consecrated Sphinx and a blocker on the ground. Seems like a very tall order to me. If they're tapping out for some threat, it's just going to get dissipated here. Okay, concession. Alright, well, cool, guys. This is our second 3-0. Unfortunately, my diversity has not been good with my 3-0 decks. They've both been blue-black combo control decks. This is more of a control deck. The last one was actually more of a control deck as well, but they were both blue-black, reanimator builds. This one did not have the Damnation, but had like TSG instead, but the decks were fairly similar. I think the other one had a little bit more counter magic. I believe it actually had like a remand, an actual factual counter spell, and like 3 total 3-mana counters, but I don't think it had Force of Will. That one I didn't capture on video. This one I did. So I hope you guys enjoyed this cube session. A few plays that I think were speculative on our part. The Necromancy play that we did, I believe in game 1, was rough, was bad. It was just like, oh, what am I thinking? And the last play we did there in that last game where we went for a Necromancy on the Consecrated Sphinx may have been wrong as well, because we knew them to have at least 1 removal spell in deck, and we know they have Reanimate, and we couldn't back up that play with Volrest Stronghold, which was in our deck, to get rid of it out of our graveyard so they could not reanimate it. So that could have been wrong. It was close, and they were on a lot of cards. So, I don't know. I also think that, if they don't have it, like, getting Consecrated Sphinx down early and often is going to win a lot more games. If you get untapped with that thing, like, the game's over. If you don't, well, the game can go on for a while. But I think we played some cool games, and I think we played them decently well. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and take care now.